As someone who's a full-on iPad music producer, I definitely enjoy simplicity, minimalism, and function when it comes to my music production setups. I can go with just the iPad Pro and maybe a couple extra peripherals, or I can have a full-on desk setup. So I'm going to show you guys, since a lot of us are spending our time at home these days, I'm going to show you guys the new updated desk setup and also explain why I bought a 2012 Mac Mini in 2020. Stay tuned. What is up, creatives? It's Jarrell, your music technologist, here to help you master the tech you need to make music freely. So I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm gonna take you right to the desk, show you what I got going on. But first, every piece of gear I talk about in this video will be linked down in the description, so you can check that out. And I'm strictly focusing on things that are at the desk, so not the whole studio setup. If you guys are interested in a full studio setup tour again, let me know down in the comments and I'll consider making that video. But without further ado, let's head to the desk. So the first thing you're gonna notice is the new desk chair. It's nothing fancy. I mean, I like the aesthetic. The white and the black is nice, but it is just an Amazon Flash Furniture mid-back chair. The main thing I like is that it's super comfortable, adjustable armrests, and a mesh back, and just a lot of adjustments are possible with it. So a lot of times we as producers don't think about the importance of your chair that you sit in, but if you're going to be producing at a desk for a while, you need a comfortable chair. Moving on. So at the desk, you'll notice some things have changed here. I've got my 2018 iPad Pro 12.9 inch here. It looks like it's floating. I'll explain how I did that in just a sec. And right above that is my 1080p monitor, which is hooked up to now the new Mac Mini, which is right behind here. So let's start with the iPad Pro. It is the 2018 model of the iPad Pro. It's the 12.9 inch. Haven't seen the need to upgrade to the 2020 iPad Pro. It only has 256 gigs of storage. I would recommend, as a music producer, especially if you're a video editor, which I am as well, I would highly recommend going with a higher capacity iPad, something like a 500 gig or a terabyte. I would recommend the terabyte. That's what I'm doing next time. Moving on. So you'll see there's one singular USB-C cable plugged in to my iPad Pro. Now I can do this and pull this out. This is actually mounted on a hydraulic arm that's attached to a desk mount back here. So all this is, I'll go ahead and unplug this USB-C cable. My iPad is on a magnetic back. So this is basically half of an iPad case that I have attached to this arm. And then that arm is attached to one singular support pole that goes down to the bottom of the desk. And I have an additional hydraulic arm attached to this monitor. So really quick, I want to talk about the purpose of a setup like this. It's definitely a hybrid Mac and iPad setup. And I went that route for one main reason. The iPad, as capable of a machine as it is, there's always still going to be something that you need your desktop for, or a laptop. Up until this point, I've been a PC guy when it came to laptops, and I wanted to have the function of, AirDrop between my iPad and my Mac. Also being able to use external drives that are formatted to APFS, which is only readable by Apple devices. And to be honest, that's exactly what led me to buy the 2012 Mac Mini. Now, I bought the 2012 because it's the last upgradable Mac Mini that is available. So you can upgrade the storage and you can upgrade the RAM, and it's actually really easy to do. I bought a pretty cheap kit on Amazon, and as soon as I got my Mac Mini, I actually took it apart and installed a secondary drive so I could have a solid state drive for my operating system, and then just use the hard drive that came with it as a storage drive and keep both in the machine. Yeah, so what prompted me to buy it was really file management issues. This is probably the stickiest situation when it comes to iPads. Apple still has a long way to go with file management on the iPad. The Files app has been pretty buggy since its inception, and it hasn't really been fixed, especially when it comes to external drives. Now, I don't know if this is the case for everybody. Haven't really heard anybody talk about this much, but iPads have trouble writing to exFAT formatted drives. If you don't know what exFAT is, it's just a file system format for your drives. Most external hard drives are by default mapped to exFAT. Long story short, using APFS formatted drives works great with iPad and works great with a Mac. So I wanted to have that Mac iPad compatibility when using external drives. Now, I'm sure you noticed when you saw the desk, there's only one keyboard and one mouse, and I'm using it with both my iPad and my Mac, and I'll show you guys how I'm doing that. So this right here is the Satechi Compact backlit keyboard, and I love it because obviously it's backlit and it has a full function row set here, and the main functionality I love about it is this right up here. You've got 1, 2, and 3 Bluetooth devices that you can connect to. So number 1 for me is going to be my iPad. So I can spotlight search, bada bing, there it is. And then I can just press this number 2 here. And that brings it up to the Mac. And I can just, bada bing, spotlight search right there. Same thing goes for my mouse. So this is the MX Master 3, the Master for Mac edition. And aside from being an all-around great mouse, again, the functionality that's great about it is multiple device support. So number 1 is set to my iPad, number 2 is set to the Mac, and number 3 is actually set to my wife's iPad. So I can just easily switch between those and use them with all my devices. So the next piece of gear I've got is my Apple Magic Trackpad 2 with my custom D-brand skin on it. And this is actually only hooked up to my iPad. So there's no way for me to have this go between the Mac and the iPad. I wish there was, but there just isn't. But this comes definitely in handy for video editing, for like side scrolling and stuff like that with the iPad. So that's why that stays there. Right above that, I'm sure you've noticed my CME X-Key Air. This is definitely my go-to MIDI controller. I've been using it for a year now. I actually just recently dropped a video about this thing. So if you haven't checked out that video, definitely check that out. I'll put that up in the card as well as down in the description. But super thin, portable MIDI controller, great for when we're able to be back out and about because it's just so portable. Again, everything that I talk about in this video will be linked down in the description, so definitely check that out. Yes, they are affiliate links, but it will cost you nothing extra to use them and supports the channel. Appreciate you guys. All right, right above that, I've got 3 external hard drives, nothing fancy. Still rocking my custom D-brand skins, but these are each a terabyte. This is a RAVPower terabyte solid state drive. And I'll leave a link for that in the description. These are super clutch. I actually got these on sale on Amazon. They were going for, I think, about 130 or 120 at the time. And for a terabyte, that is a really good price. You know, storage is only dropping in price over time. I'm sure drives like this in the future will cost a lot less. So the RAVPower is a definite win. High quality drive, super inexpensive for a terabyte. I've got 2 of those, as well as the Rocket Nano, also a terabyte, super tiny drive. So all 3 of these just stay on my desk. And right over here, right above these hard drives that I keep on my desk is this little case. It has all of my little connectors and adapters. So I keep, microfiber cloth in here. Also, I keep any cables that I use to connect my drives are in here, very short cables. And then I have all of my little tiny adapters down here in this box. So super clutch. It helps keep things off the desk and out of the way and easy to get to because they're right there. Right next to that is the Mac Mini itself, the 2012 Mac Mini. Over here is a powered USB hub that I have running under the desk. This is going directly to the iPad. Something I didn't mention is that my iPad and my Mac Mini don't just share a keyboard and a mouse. They also share my audio interface and my monitor, and I'll show you guys how I did that. All right, so right behind this monitor here, I'll show you, I've got a little button down here which allows me to go back and forth. So I've got 2 HDMI cables plugged into one side and 1 HDMI that goes out to the monitor. I can press this button and give it a second. There it is. So I've got the monitor coming straight from my iPad. That comes super clutch when it comes to video editing and things like that. I can easily just switch it back by pressing this button right behind the monitor. And boom, back to the Mac Mini. The same thing is possible under my desk for audio. So I have a button here. If I press it, it will switch both my audio interface, which I haven't talked about yet, and my keyboard that's over here. Both of those are plugged into this device here. And once I press the button, it will switch to the Mac Mini. If I press it again, it will switch back to the iPad, and I'll show you guys what that switch looks like. So down here under the desk, we've got a USB switcher here. So this is a USB 2.0 because that's all you really need for most audio interfaces, as well as MIDI. So both of those are running into the switcher, and I have two USBs running out of the switcher. One's going back to the Mac Mini, and one is going out to the iPad Pro. And if I press this button, this is what does the switch. Press it again to switch again. I like to keep it right up here at the front of the desk because it's really easy to reach when I'm sitting there. So while I've got you under the desk, I also have a standard USB hub running right here that goes directly to the Mac Mini. It's got 4 slots on it, each with their own button. And then plugged into that, taking up one of those slots, is this Dynex SD card reader. So that is going straight to the Mac Mini. And that allows me to keep all of my stuff that I need to plug in directly at the front of my desk, which is exactly what I need. I like everything to be at an arm's length when it comes to my gear on my desk. And here's what that looks like on the front. Boom. So there's the 4 slots. One of them's got a USB-C adapter. And then here's a multi SD card reader right here on the front. On the front of the desk, on the other side, this is my HyperDrive USB-C Hub, which is running to my iPad Pro. I've got a power cable running straight from there down to this power adapter plugged in at the bottom of my desk. It's an Anker 30-watt power adapter, which works really well with the iPad because it gives you up to the full 30 watts that the iPad supports instead of just the 18-watt power adapter that comes with your iPad Pro. Always keep my water bottle on the side, as well as my iPad Pro Magic Keyboard. Now this is specifically more for on the go, or if I want to work anywhere else in the house, I'll just take the iPad Pro off of this, plop it onto my Magic Keyboard, and take this with me out into the living room to work. This is definitely by far the best iPad keyboard that is available. Highly recommend that. I'll link that down in the description as well. Also, if you wanted to see my review and first impressions of the iPad Pro Magic Keyboard, definitely check out the video, which I will link up in the card as well as down in the description. So I said that I would bring you guys back to my audio interface, so I'll show you what that looks like. Right down here, we've got the M Audio MobilePre. It's a very standard interface. It's got 2 inputs. It's a multi-input, supports XLR as well as TRS and others. And then you've got your 2 gain knobs as well as your headphones and line outputs. And then you got 2 channels to turn on or off. That's these 2 right here. And you've got your direct monitor button. This also supports phantom power. That audio interface is going to be hard to find. It's pretty old, but I will link my best pick for affordable audio interfaces down in the description. You can check that out. That's the Focusrite Scarlett, the 2i2. Check that out. Moving on. So right next to that, we've got my monitors on top. These are the Mica monitors, very basic monitors using just some real stereo cable going down to my amp down below the desk. But I got 2 of those on the desk. On top of this one of my favorite Bible verses, keeps me inspired to do what I do. And then on the other side, I just keep my phone mounted up here on this wireless charging stand. So it's really easy for me to charge on the desk. And on the side of this right here, I just have my batteries that go with my light that is up above my camera. So right next to that, this guy right here is a major lifesaver. This is the OXO Sweep and Swipe, and it's got bristle brush on top, which is great for dusting out keyboards and electronics, things like that. And then on this other side, if you pop the cap off, you've got a microfiber cloth. This little thing is definitely a real lifesaver. It's under 10 bucks. And I like that the microfiber sponge at the bottom makes it to where it doesn't turn your device on when you're wiping, like a normal microfiber cloth might do when using your fingers. So over on the other side of the desk, this right here is my mic of choice. It's the Blue Spark. It's just mounted right here on a boom stand, a basic boom stand you can get on Amazon. I'll link that down in the description. But that comes out easily. I've got a pop filter. I can just pull it out and use it when I need to and just adjust it and then put it back when I'm done. And right next to that is my headphones of choice. These are the Audio Technica ATH M50X BTs. It's the Bluetooth edition. I know it's a mouthful, but these are some solid studio headphones. I've definitely mentioned these in other videos before, but these are a win. They're pretty standard as far as the music production community goes. Many people use these, and they're actually more affordable than many other headphones. And these are just sitting on a basic headphone stand, which is on my desk. I'll link that in the description as well, but it pivots and you can change how high or low it goes, and you can flip it and mount it under the desk if you really want to. So that covers it for the audio equipment that's on my desk. I'm gonna talk now about the video gear. So I'm actually currently recording this video with my primary camera. It's the Osmo Pocket, not the new one that just came out, the second one, but I'm recording on the first one. I have a wide angle lens, which I will also link down in the description. That's on it. Using the DJI audio adapter to run my lapel mic right now through the camera. So normally when I'm recording my videos, I have my camera mounted here and it's attached to this old Android device that I have hooked up, and that's usually the monitor. And I can pull it out with this hydraulic arm here, and then right above that is obviously my light. And I keep a USB-C cable magnetically just hanging here so I can use it to power any and all of my devices that need charging. So whether that be my camera or this phone that I use as a monitor or my fan here, which I didn't mention, this is the Sky Genius. It's just a really cheap fan. It works really well. I'll link that in the description as well, but it just gets hot when you're working at a desk for a long time. So that's what that's for. To the left of that, this is my mic that I'm using when I'm at my desk recording videos. So that's specifically what this is for. This is the Takstar SGC 598. Really solid mic, really inexpensive. They're kind of hard to come by now because they've been bought up quite a bit, but they're generally between $20 to $30. Super inexpensive for a mic like this. And I have that on another hydraulic arm that's mounted here, and I have a cable that plugs into my Osmo. Over here to the left again, I have, this is just a basic TV stand that I've mounted right behind my desk. I have a telescoping monopod here that allows me to pull this section out, but this is what I use to get those overhead shots of my iPad. Usually I have my iPhone right here on this mount, which can be adjusted like so. And I use that to record all the footage you see of the overhead stuff with my iPad and whatnot. So when I'm done, I can twist this and push it back in. And that's that. The only thing that I have not yet mentioned is my trusty percussion bin that I keep right above the desk. All you musicians, creatives, music producers out there, this is a major pro tip to you guys. Invest in good auxiliary percussion. The reason why a lot of your favorite producers have such good, authentic sounding percussion is because they're not using samples, they're recording their own. They're using their own live instruments, and you get that real authentic sound. So I won't go in depth on all the instruments I have in there, but I'm definitely collecting several handheld percussion instruments. So that about covers it for this one, you guys. If there's any questions you have about any of the gear that I talked about in this video, feel free to let me know down in the comments section. And question of the day, when it comes to a desk setup, what matters most to you? Form, as in the aesthetics, or function, as in having everything readily available and having everything serve a purpose? So let me know down in the comments, are you team form, team function when it comes to your desk setup? Until next time, creatives, go make something dope, and I'll see you in the next video.